If you want to start trading with a prop firm, but you have no idea where to begin, well, this is the only video that you're going to need to watch. I'm going to break down everything, what prop firms are, how to choose the right one, how to actually pass the evaluation challenges, and how to get your first payout. I've personally turned $200 into over $50,000 using prop firms, and in this video, I'm going to show you step by step so that you can do the same thing. Whether you have $200 in capital or $2,000 in capital, this guide covers everything you need to get funded in 2026. So very quickly, before we get into everything, a prop firm is also known as a proprietary trading firm. And so essentially what that is it's a company that gives you access to large amounts of capital. And so that way you're not having to trade with your own money. They give you this account that is like a fake challenge account. You pass that evaluation to show that you actually have the ability to trade, and then you get funded. So they're going to basically give you money to trade with, and you keep 80 to 90% of the profit that you make on those accounts. So here's exactly how it works. You pay basically like $100 to $200, depending on what account size that you end up getting, and you get access to anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 of capital. Then all you have to do is basically follow the rules to pass that evaluation challenge. Once you pass the challenge, you get funded, and then you're able to keep everything over 80%. Now, there are going to be some rules in the funded stage that are very important to pay attention to, because if you don't follow them, you won't be able to get paid out. So this whole video is going to be a guideline that goes over everything. Literally every single stage you're seeing here, we're going to go over it. And of course, guys, the problem that they solve, you don't need to have $50,000 of your own cash anymore, right? You aren't risking $50,000 of your own money at this point in time. Now you're able to pay $200, trade with their capital. You'll have a limited downside and you'll have unlimited upside. You can make unlimited amounts of money, but you don't have to lose $50,000 at a time. Instead, you're only losing the amount of money that you paid for the account that you bought. Now, guys, there's only a couple firms that I personally trust, and later on I'm going to get into exactly why that's the case. But for me, at this point, there's 5 main firms that I like the most. All of these firms have different pricing points. They give you different, benefits, different profit splits, all kinds of things like that. For me personally, my number one at this point is Take Profit Trader. You guys have already most likely seen it on my channel. And at this point in time, I've withdrawn over $50,000 from TPT. So this is my number one pick for prop firms. And that's the one that I'm going to show you today. Top Step is a close number 2 for me. I've also been paid out by them, and I think they're a solid brokerage. Apex is the one that's a bit iffy. There's been lots of controversy and lots of things that people are saying are happening behind the scenes. I don't know anything about it. I think that they're a decent firm. My Funded Futures and Tradeify are both very good firms as well. They're very sturdy and solid firms, but for me personally, Take Profit Trader is going to take the cake here. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually get funded using Take Profit Trader, how to get access to $150,000 of capital to trade with, how exactly to pass the evaluation, get funded, how to beat the funded rules so that way you can actually get a payout. And in this video, you're going to see me actually take a $5,000 payout live in front of you. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. The first thing that you have to do is actually pick your prop firm. Now, I'm only going to show you prop firms that I have personally made money from, right? I'm not going to tell you, go try this random prop firm that I've never heard of, because at the end of the day, I want you to be safe and I want you to make sure that you are actually able to accept payouts. Lots of these prop firms do not pay out, but one that I know does, and one that I know does every single day, is Take Profit Trader. This is the prop firm that I've been using, and honestly, in my opinion, has the best all-in price and is the easiest to actually take payouts from. TPT works as literally every single other prop firm does. You buy evaluation accounts. So if we take a scroll down here, you can see that they actually have every single step labeled for you, but I'm going to walk you through all of it as well. Now, TPT has a couple of rules that people think are favored against them, but in reality are actually favored for them, because all of these prop firms that have 1 day to pass, 2 days to pass, they are promoting gambling. That is all they're promoting. They're promoting people who are going in, full porting accounts and blowing them within a day just to buy another 3 accounts to try to pass those 3. This is the entirely wrong idea that you should have whenever you are trying to become funded, because all you're doing is promoting gambling. So TPT has a number of days that you have to actually pass your account. This will stop you from doing that gambling that you were doing before. Instead, we have a 5-day passing period. So you have to trade for at least 5 days. Now, there is a trick that I'm going to show you after this, as soon as I show you how to get the account, to actually be able to pass it in 2, but that's going to be in a couple of minutes. So that's the first rule, right? We have to trade for at least 5 days. Now, the beautiful thing about TPT is the minimum days until your first withdrawal. You can withdraw the moment you get your funded account. So if you get your funded account and you make the certain amount of money that you have to make on that funded account, you can withdraw like that. Other prop firms will make you have to literally take 10 days or 5 days to be able to get another payout. And so with TPT, you are able to take a payout from day one. Their withdrawal process is literally immediate. You click withdrawal. Actually, I'll play a video on the screen of me withdrawing right now. And as you can see, it is literally an immediate process. It happens right away. You click withdrawal and then the money's in your account. And it is extremely, extremely fast. Now with TPT, you have live support 24/7. Their support is not as great as other platforms, in my opinion. I'm being honest here. I'll tell you all day, I think TPT is my favorite. However, out of all the prop firm supports, I think TPT is the one that's on the lower end. But the thing is you don't have as many issues with TPT as you have with other prop firms. Other prop firms have a lot of problems. So with this platform, it is very, very sturdy, and you're not going to have that many issues. Now, when you do, sometimes they take maybe a day or two to get to you instead of getting to you within 5 minutes. So that's the only reason why I say their support is not as great. And that's the gist of the information. Now, as you can see, there's also fees for the pro account. But again, in a couple seconds here, I'm going to teach you how to get rid of those fees entirely. If I'm not mistaken, TPT is the cheapest cost across all of the prop firms that I have seen. Because, for example, Top Step, you'll pay $50 for a funded account, evaluation challenge. And you might think, oh, that's a pretty good price. But then you have to pay $150 for the activation fee. These accounts right here, I'm going to show you, there's a way that you can literally get no activation fee, and it becomes the cheapest all-in cost for any prop firm that I have personally seen. Now, there's a couple different account types here. You can see 50K, 75K, 100K, 150K, and the 25. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, let me just go for the 25K because it is the smallest one and it's the cheapest one. Well, you don't want to take a look at the overall cost of the account. The main thing you want to pay attention to is your profit target and your end of day trailing drawdown. Because as you can see, you're not actually paying for $25,000 worth of capital. You are paying for the end of day trailing drawdown. This is how much money you're actually paying for, because this is what you can lose. So when it comes to the trailing drawdowns here, the best accounts, in my opinion, are the 50K and the 150K. Because everything in between, it doesn't make much sense to buy. For example, the 75K is going to cost you an extra $50. And on top of that, you don't get anything more than $500 more of drawdown versus the 150K where you get double the amount of drawdown as you did before. So this is definitely out of all of the accounts that you can have, these are the best two options that exist on the market. So this is how you actually buy an account. You're going to press create new. And when it takes you to this page, you're going to have a couple different options like I told you before. I'm going to personally go with the 50K in this so that way I can show you exactly how to buy it. And you're going to go next here. Now, this is how you get the cheapest all-in cost that you could possibly ever have. Because if you use code SOA, you will get 40% discount, and it takes the entire price of the account down to $102 per month. Now, here's the deal. This $100 is getting you access to quote unquote $50,000 of capital, but it's actually going to be $2,000 worth of capital that you are able to risk to be able to continue going to that funded account. But the biggest thing that you get with this prop firm is going to be that you do not have any activation fees. So this right here is a 40% discount off the bat if you use code SOA, and then you will get no activation fees afterwards. So all you would do at this point is just agree to all the rules and you have yourself an account. Okay, so now that you have your TPT account, what you need to do is make sure that you have at least 5 days traded. Now, like I said, I'm gonna show you a way that you can pass it in 2. And this is not something that I recommend, but I'm going to show you how to do it just in case you want to be a little bit more risky. You have to reach a profit target of 3K to be able to get funded. And then your biggest day cannot be more than 50% of your total profit. So you can't make on this account, since your profit target is 3K, you can't make over $1,500 in one day, or else you will blow that consistency and you'll have to make even more money. What you could do, since there is a 50% consistency rule, which means that you are not allowed to make more than 50% of your profit in one day, you could realistically make $1,500 in one day, $1,500 in the next day. So day 1, day 2, and then day 3, 4, and 5, you really just take one really small trade with one micro and make 5 cents, lose 5 cents. And so you're passing these accounts in literally 2 days instead of 5. And the rest of these days, you can kind of just work on passing other accounts. That is something that you can do. That way you're not sitting there trading, 5 days straight If you were a little bit trying to like pass the accounts faster and get through the accounts, that is an easy way to do. But remember, you have to keep in mind of the consistency rule. So here on the screen is coming up with all of the drawdown limits. If you are trading the 50K and the 150K, these are going to be the ones that I'm going to recommend the most. So we're going to go over those two. This is how much money you cannot make over in one day, or else you will end up having to pretty much make a lot more money and it's not worth it. So this is what you should be capped at. Now, there's a couple, I mean, the rules are all right on the screen, which is awesome. You do not have the ability to trade more than 6 contracts at a time. If you are trading 6 NQ contracts, you are literally over risking anyways, right? So there should be no world where you're touching 6 NQ. I mean, it should never happen a day in your life. Like I said, you have $2,000 worth of drawdown that you're allowed to have. These aren't really as important rules. You just want to make sure that you close out before the market closes. And then you do not want to break the counter positions rule. This is a very important rule because what people don't realize, they think, oh, I can go long on one account and short on one account, and then I'll pass. And it's like, no, that's not a good idea. If you do that, you break the counter positions rule, and then you end up not being able to, trade this account. It'll literally blow your account instantly. But once you have that account, you are ready to go. For futures, guys, you can do 2 things. You can either buy long, or you can sell short, right? Buy long means that you think the stock will go up, so you buy. If you think the stock is going to go down, you short, right? You go down, you sell. So you can make money on either side, but if the market moves in your favor, then you make money. So if you sell a contract and the market goes down, then you make money. If you sell a contract and the market goes up, you lose money, right? It's very, very simple. If you buy a contract and the market starts going against you, well, then you're losing money. But if you buy a contract and the market goes in your favor, then of course you make money. So when you want to go long, you want upside. You've seen this chart before on my screen many, many times, most likely. And this means that you want upside, right? Here's the green, here's the red. So you want upside movement. This is where you'll buy longs. Same thing goes here. If you want to short, you're going to go for the downside. So you're going to sell your contracts and watch for the short. And here's your stop loss, of course, as we set up in options. It's the exact same. So each time the price moves, the price is going to move by 1 tick. Okay, so this candle right here, anytime it moves up, boom, boom, boom. Anytime it's moving up, right? All these little increments of movement are called ticks, okay? So it's going to move up by a tick every time it moves. Now, for larger price moves, we're not going to measure in ticks, right? We're not going to say, oh my God, SPY just had a 10,000 tick move. No, we're not going to do that. They're going to measure in points. And so for ES and NQ, 4 ticks equals a point. So when it goes up 4 ticks, boom, 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 we're going to go up a point, right? So it's the same thing. It's going to be ticks and then 4 ticks equals a point. So when you show that live, it'll just look like this. Every time the price moves and has one little like push up, tiny little push up, that's good. That's a tick, 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 ticks up, ticks down. Then every time you have 4 of those, it'll be a point. Now, that is all you need to know right now. We'll talk about more in the future, but that is all you need to know right now for when it comes to the technical aspect of what futures is to like a literal definition standpoint. Futures is an asset to trade that if you trade it correctly, you can make a lot of money. So there are a couple main ways to actually put in orders. And right now I'm going to teach you how to actually put the orders in to be able to trade futures. So the first thing that you want to do is, like I've said before, you can trade NQ or ES, MNQ or MES, right? And so for this example here, I'm going to trade NQ. And there's a couple different ways that you can put in orders. First things first, you can go over to the settings here and you can go into the trading section. Inside the trading section, you can go through and actually add the buy and sell button here to be able to give you one tap trading as well. So put these 2 options on and you'll be able to see this right here. This is pretty much the easiest way to enter positions. It's going to be the fastest way as well. As you can see, I just entered a position right there, right? So you can enter positions fairly quickly if you just use this method. But there's one more method that you can use as well, and that is going to be to go ahead and right click on your chart and go through and add order here. You can also sell like this as well. So let's say that I'm taking sell orders. You can come through and sell here. This gets a little bit confusing for people, so I'm going to zoom it in real quick for you guys. But typically what you can do is if you want the stock to go in your direction, you will put a sell stop limit. This gets very confusing for people. They very, like, for some reason, they don't understand it, like how it works. So I'm going to break it down for you right now. Sell stop limit is if you want it to go in your direction, right? But if you are just wanting to catch a move, let's say off of a level, for example, let's say that you have a level right here, you'll place a sell limit instead, right? So a sell limit will be if you are trying to see it, come up to that level and then fill. A sell stop limit will be to the other direction. Same thing goes for if I want upside. So I can either buy like this, which will enter me into a position to the upside, right? I can close position by just clicking that close position button. I can do a buy stop limit, which means that the position will fill when it pushes up into my actual entry, right? Or I can do a buy limit, which means that it will fill as the price comes down into that area. So those are the different ways that you can put in those orders. And one main thing that I want you to pay attention to whenever you are trading as well is to make sure that you have stops placed on every single order that you trade. I know there are people that will say otherwise. I don't care. You're watching my video, so I want you to place stops because it's going to be super important. So for example, let's say that we enter a position right here. And there's two ways that you can place stops. The first is going to be, you can place a stop like this, where you just place the opposite order on the opposite side, right? So we just bought, we place a sell stop limit below here. That is going to mean that if it comes down, it will fill your sell stop. So let's see if that happens right now. As you can see, we're coming down, and we should fill that in just a second. Boom. So we just filled that order, right? So now, as you can see, we have a sell stop, which means that we are stopped out on this position. The second way that you can do it is by going to add order here and then making sure to include a stop loss as well. This means that you can actually see how much money you are risking on this position. So I'm now risking $85 on this evaluation challenge. And as you can see here, this is actually like the stop loss can be moved around as well. So that's the easiest way to actually see and plan what your position is going to look like, is by going through here, putting in a position, and actually having your stop loss. You can drag your stop loss out like this, and you will be able to see exactly where your stops are going to be. So this is going to allow you to basically move this around and be like, okay, how much risk do I have? I can give maybe, let's say, 40 ticks of risk right here, which would be $200 of risk. And you can play around with the actual, settings on that. Obviously, this is not a video to tell you exactly what your risk to reward should be. This is more of a video of how to actually set up trading. But if you do want me to actually go over like proper risk management when it comes to these accounts, just drop a comment down below and I'll start to do that for you. Now, once you have passed your evaluation account, this is going to be exactly how we go to pro. So you're going to get an email. I might put the email on the screen. I might not. Just depends on how lazy I am when I'm editing this. You'll get an email that basically tells you, hey, welcome to pro, and you can go and set up your pro account. Remember, this only happens after you've passed. And so when you do click on that, you are able to actually sign up for your pro account. Now, what's going to happen here is, like I said, there's usually going to be a $130 fee that you have to pay to go to the funded stage. But because you used code SOA earlier, and this is why I always say use code SOA, because you will literally get 40% off of the eval stage, and then you will get a credit down here. Now, once you get this credit, you just click next, and once you click next, you will have your funded account actually pending. This account is now a pro account. All right, so once you have your actual funded account and you are looking to try and get a payout on this account, there's a couple rules that you need to follow. I'm gonna break them all down for the 50K and the 150K for you, so that way you know exactly how to get a payout no matter what account you're trading. So there's a couple rules. The first one is going to be that you have to have a minimum drawdown buffer zone of $2,000. And so what this means is you are not able to withdraw until you are over the 52K mark. So if you do not have $2,000 made on your account, you cannot withdraw. Now you can do this all in one day, right? You can get your account on day one and you can make plus 2,500 and you will be over the $2,000 mark, and you can withdraw anything that is over the $2,000 mark. So in this scenario, since you withdrew $2,500, you are going to take a $400 withdrawal home on day one. Now, this is pretty cool because what can happen is on day two, let's say that you make another $400. Well, you can also withdraw on day 2. So you have a daily withdrawal function where you can literally withdraw every single day. So you keep 80% of your withdrawal on day 2 as well. And this is how you can start stacking and building accounts fairly quickly. Here's the deal though, and one thing I need you to know, this is extremely important. If you do not watch this part of the video or you're not paying attention, you are going to blow accounts and you have no idea why. This right here is the most important part of your trading. Remember that these accounts have intraday trailing drawdown. This is the public enemy number 1 of prop firm people because nobody likes intraday drawdown, but there are ways to deal with it where you can actually see a lot of success. And on top of that, that's the reason why TPT allows for daily payouts. I can literally take a payout every single day if I want to and treat this like a live account. And the reason why I get to do that is because of the fact that we have intraday drawdown. So when you are starting your funded account, you're going to have to do something called building a buffer. And what this means is, well, anything over $2,000 on that 50K account, you're going to have to be able to withdraw, which basically means anything over that $2,000 amount that we have to make is able to be withdrawn. And so everything over that is going to be a buffer. You're building yourself a buffer on your account so that way you don't end up going in the red. So for example, on this account that I showed you right here, which is going to be this account right here, I am currently up on a 150K account, $15,625. This is a $15,000 buffer, which means that I don't have to lose the normal $4,500 to blow the account. I have to lose $15,000 to blow the account. So clearly, we're in a different boat, right? I can size heavier, I can get a little bit more risky. So you have to build a buffer on your account. And to do that, we need to do one main thing. We need to keep in mind the intraday trailing drawdown. Up until you get to this point of 2K, you are going to have drawdown chasing you live. So to give a really good definition of what intraday trailing drawdown is, it's going to be very, very simple. Intraday drawdown, it means that drawdown is chasing you live. So let's say that you are at 0 right now and you go up to plus $200. When you come back down, you are actively losing money on this drawdown. So it is calculating your drawdown live. So if you're up $200, you then will lose $200 to go back to 0. And then let's say that you go back down to negative $1,800 on the day, your account is now blown, because you did not factor in the intraday drawdown when trading. Now, this sounds scary, but it honestly really isn't, because if you are a good trader, this doesn't mean absolute jack to you. And I try to say this all the time to people. Like, they're so worried about intraday drawdown or consistency rules. And it's like, guys, you have to understand, good traders do not care if it's intraday or regular drawdown. Because at the end of the day, if you're not oversizing and you're not doing anything stupid, you're going to beat it. And I'm going to show you a method right now that is absolutely going to change the game for you when it comes to intraday. Because, so let's say that you have negative $2,000 as your drawdown. And as you're making money, your drawdown is increasing with it, which means that your drawdown is live moving up. You have the chance to blow your account at any point in time. What needs to be done is, as you're in a position, so let's say that I enter this position right here. So let's say that we take a position here on NQ to the downside, right? We are going to do one main thing to keep ourselves alive. Two main things, actually. We're going to set our stop loss 1-to-1 with our risk to reward. So what this means is we're going to have a 42 tick stop and a 42 tick target here. This keeps us 100% safe on our moves because we know that we're not going to have that much of a move down to get to our stop loss, right? Keeping yourself 1-to-1, very, very safe. The next thing you want to do is place your stop loss on your chart. And as you are in the green on your position, you want to move your stop loss along the way. This is going to make sure that if this thing comes back and it goes against you, you're stopped out. Instead of watching your position go massively in the green and then watching this position flip and making this drawdown kill you in the process, right? It doesn't make much sense. So instead, let's say that we're up $150 here. I'm just going to keep trailing this stop loss along with this position to try and gain as much profit as I possibly can. This is something that is very important to do. And one of the main things to pay attention to when you are doing this is your sizing. Because realistically, guys, you shouldn't be losing that much money to begin with. The people who get killed by intraday drawdown in one day are the people that are oversizing, and that's exactly what prop firms want, right? So for example, I'm in on 6NQ on a 50K account. That makes 0 sense, guys. I'm down $800 on the day, because of the fact that I'm trading this NQ account. It's so silly to try and trade with that much size on. But for this example, since I am literally trading this account and I don't care whether or not it gets blown, I want to show you live how to trail this stop loss. So what you will do is you'll place your stops on your chart. As you have those stops placed, as the position moves in your favor, you want to be moving your stop loss down. So for example, now we have stops here. We're up $450. We want to move stops in the green. Keep moving your stop loss so that way as the position continues to gain profit, you continue to gain as well. And as soon as you get stopped out, right, you're moving this stop loss along the way. You're moving this stop loss along the way. We're up $500. The moment that you end up getting stopped out on this position,
Stop failed.
You are now completely safe from the intraday drawdown because this position was moving in your favor, moved slightly out of your favor, stopped you out, and now you're ever so slightly red. So all you have to do is just make sure that you maintain your stops successfully along the way. That will get rid of the intraday trailing drawdown problem. All right, now it is time to take your first payout. You've gotten through the intraday drawdown period. You've made the amount of money that you needed to make to get over that buffer. So for example, on the futures 150K account for Take Profit Trader, it is $4,500. So if you make over $4,500, you now can take a payout. So available for withdrawal right now for me is $9,210. One thing that you can see is that I have $13,000 over, but as you can see, I can't withdraw all 13,000 because I need to have that buffer in my account. So I will have a plus $4,500 buffer in this account if I take out all 9,000 right now. So big note here, if you withdraw all of this $9,200, you then are left with a $4,500 buffer. If you go below 4,500, let's say that you go to, 4,000 in the green on that account, you are going to go back into intraday drawdown territory. So it's very important to leave a buffer for yourself so that way you don't end up going back into that. Because for me, I like to treat these like it's almost a daily account for me, right? So for example, this morning I made $4,700 trading. So realistically, I can go in and withdraw all that money that I made. And actually, since this is literally showing you how to take your first payout, let's do it right in front of you. So here you can see that we have ourselves our Take Profit Trader area. I'm going to take a $5,000 withdrawal. Now remember, it's an 80-20 split unless you go to the Pro Plus. So on the Pro Plus, you don't have an 80-20 split anymore. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and take this $4,000 right here. And as you can see, my withdrawal is currently in progress now. So I have just taken a $5,000 payout right in front of you guys. All you have to do is really just trade the exact same way every single day and make sure that you are trading safely and carefully to be able to pass these evaluation challenges. As you can see, when utilized properly, guys, I've made over $25,000 in a week on this account. The account that I just withdrew $5,000 on, I've made $25,000 plus, actually, I think it's $26,000 right now on this account. So this account cost me $200. It is an absolutely unreal investment into your own education and into your own trading. And since we are on the topic of prop firms, one of my brand new students, Riley, actually just passed 5 evaluation challenges today, making over 80 points on NQ and securing themselves over $300,000 worth of funding. And Kim also doing $2,000 on 5 accounts, so a $10,000 day for Kim on her Top Step funded account. Moose doing over $2,000 in one day as well on his funded account. So these students that are working with me that are actually able to get funded, able to finally make their first payout, able to finally take their trading to that level that they've never had it before, well, it's because they have me in their corner one-on-one working with them every single day to actually help them scale. So if you've been struggling as a trader, and you have felt like you do not understand the game of prop firms, even as you're watching all these YouTube videos, then I completely understand. I've been there myself. And if you want real personalized one-on-one help, not just some signals garbage, right? Actual real help with getting funded, taking yourself to the next level, and finally scaling to the point where you have actual consistent green weeks without blowing yourself up, well, go to the first link in the description and apply to join SOA. It is my one-on-one mentorship program, and I work every single day with these students hands-on to absolutely transform their lives. So I hope to see you on the other side.